Hello, hello, hello. I'm going live again. It's nearly taken me a week to get back on camera, but we're doing a live video challenge in April. It's just a casual thing. It's a free thing. If you want to join, it's not too late. You just need to put a comment yes in the comments, and I'll add you to the Facebook group chat, which we've got going. And the challenge is to do 2 lives every week about anything for any length of time on any page that you have, and to share it, share the experience, or share the link in the group. I don't know why I have this weird reflection that happens. See up there? It happened last time as well. It's very interesting what's going on at the moment. So anyway, hello and happy, what is it, Tuesday. Hope you've all had an amazing Easter. So the video challenge is the first thing I want to talk to you about. The second thing I want to tell you is what I'm about to do today. So I'm going to do a live healing on myself because last time I did some healings on some people, and which is fine to do by distance, but today's one actually requires some talking through it. So I'm going to do a live balance on myself and get super vulnerable in doing that. And I'm going to talk to you about the story I'm telling myself, which is a Brene Brown reference. And have you seen The Call to Courage by Brene Brown? And if you haven't, I highly recommend it. I've watched it about 3 times, and I bought the Teddy Roosevelt poster and everything. And it was all about the courage to go into the arena. And you know, the one in the arena is the one that everyone's having a go at. And that's what I'm actually going to work on today, funny enough. And all those puzzle pieces will come together. But Brene Brown tells a story, and I'm going to give you a very short version of it, where she goes away to a lake, and there's speedboats and her family and her husband, and for some reason she starts to get really anxious and feels like her husband isn't paying her any attention, and she's wearing bathers, and she feels fat and ugly and like all the stuff, right? And so she starts to build up and build up and build up and have this like story going on in her head that he's not attracted to her, that he's ignoring her, that she's done something wrong, like all that stuff. As we do, right? We start to make assumptions, and she confronts him, and he says, "What are you talking about? I had a dream last night that one of the kids got killed by the speedboat, and when he was in the water with them, and then there was a boat coming past, and so he's having full anxiety attacks over his side of the fence, and she's telling herself that he's not attracted and doesn't want to be with her and all that stuff." So that's where it comes from, the story I'm telling myself. So she would say to him, the story I'm telling myself is this, 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 and this. And he's like, oh my God, the story I'm telling myself is that if I'm a bad dad, and I'm not going to let my kids die, and like all that stuff. So when I treat couples, we use this a lot, and it's an amazing technique to use in relationships, where you can actually, without blame, without he said, she said, you can actually dwell on or be self-aware around what the story is that's going on in your head. And this is the problem in society, right? So we have belief systems, limiting beliefs, and belief systems from our parents, and you know, our upbringing, and all of those things that then ruin the rest of our lives, because an experience turns into a belief, and a belief then turns into a story, and then you're running that story all the time. So today I'm going to work on my own story that I'm telling myself, because I was greeted with a horrendous text message this morning and an email, which I'll go through in a second, and I'm going to work on that because my nervous system went into chaos. So I'm going to do that live healing in a second. And the other day, which was the 1st of April, I did my first live. So this is my second one. It's meant to be 2 a week, but I'm getting there. And, you know, I like to be planned. I like to have some notes. I like to run these, you know, in an interesting way. Once I get on, I'm fine. But I have been hiding. I've been hiding from the world. That whole live was about that. And it's been since July. And I went through what happened in July for me, and the attacks by the students up in Queensland, and then I got really sick, and you know, and I've still got this thing sitting around here. And because I did that live the other day, it's brought up a whole lot of stuff for me. So I was like clearing myself, I was choking, I was coughing, I was burping, I was dry reaching, and I thought I dealt with all of that, but it just became really obvious that it wasn't just that happened in July. There was a lot of stuff going on, and the one thing I didn't talk about last time, and accidentally skimmed over it. It was in my notes, and it was quite amazing that I forgot, because it was all part of what that live was meant to be about, and it was about my friendships. And, you know, I was obviously protecting myself by not talking about it. And today I'm going to talk about it very briefly, because there's a bigger issue. There's a bigger elephant in the room. Anyway, so I did that live, and I did 2 live healings where we did the commencement checks, and I showed you how we do healing. So I'm going to do that again today. And you know, back in July, it was my 50th, and the trip to Queensland was a combination of my 50th and teaching interstate for the first time. And all my friends were meant to come, and I haven't been able to talk about this properly either. I have hinted at it on some of the posts, but out of respect for those people, and to, you know, protect myself, I haven't publicly, you know, named and shamed, which I'm not going to do today. I'm just going to capture this part of it, because it's relevant to what I'm about to do on myself. So my friends just went a bit weird, and I, on my side of things, and this is where, you know, it sits, is taking responsibility for what was happening for me, was that I noticed that I was the one always reaching out to them. I was always the one getting the groups together. I was the one, you know, saying, how are you? I was the one reaching out on a daily basis to my, you know, my best friend, and I was doing all of that stuff. And then I'd organize things always, and I'd pay for things. And I was very generous with my time and my money, but I was over giving. And I decided, all of a sudden, I just noticed it. This was in December last year, the year before. And I pulled back, and what I noticed was there was nothing. It was silence. There were crickets. And so then I had to have some really difficult conversations. And what started to happen was the birthday started to unravel, because they were all in the scarcity mindset. It was all about this dollar and that dollar, and, you know, high finance and all that stuff. And, you know, there was no passion. There was no how exciting this is, or, you know, support, you know. And I got things coming back at me like, it's not just your holiday, you're the one that's controlling, and, you know, all this stuff, because no one else would organize the accommodation, no one else would do anything. And because I was working on that trip, you know, I had to do certain things. Anyway, so that was all happening. And then there was a lot of stuff happening around the Holistic Healing Summit, which I pulled the pin on, but it went ahead anyway. And that collaboration was traumatizing. And it's funny, yesterday was a year ago that we actually started to come up, you know, with the logo and stuff on that. So it's all relevant, because all of these people, you know, they've got their side, that's fine. But the dishonoring and the disrespect and the way I was treated in the relationships, let alone after, you know, where I started to walk away, that was hard. It was really hard. I had a lot going on at that time, and I just haven't recovered since. I've had adrenal fatigue, I've had colds, I've just been hiding. And then, you know, we know our friend passed away in December, late December, and then that was it for me. I was like, I'm done, I'm resigning, I'm eating. I'm just gonna, you know, when life is short and you realize that, you just start eating. It was a pleasure thing for me. I just don't care anymore. I've got to stop caring about all the little things, and I'm just going to go for it. And part of that was eating a lot of plum pudding around Christmas, which has just gone boof, you know. I'm so sick of worrying about my weight and the way I look and feel because of menopause and hormones, and, you know, it's horrible. Anyway, so I've been hiding, but I've been in the void. So I've been taking the time to relax and rest. And if you look at all of my life, I've been pushing and hustling and fighting and defending this whole time, all my life. And it's exhausting. And I now know, you know, I've dropped to 2 days a week with clients, and I'm able to actually sleep in. I'll eat when I need to, and I'm working on the business, and things have calmed down. My nervous system's calmed down. Everything is, you know, a lot better. So there's lots of rest, and I'm running events and I'm teaching, and that's exactly what I want to be doing. So pop in the comments where you're watching from, so I know who's on there's 5 people on live. Woohoo! So just tell me where you're watching from in the comments, and if you've got any questions about what I'm doing today, pop those in the comments as well. I do move and shake, I do speak light language, I do weird breathing, and my body wiggles and stuff. So I don't want any comments on there about, you know, you're a weirdo or you're a freak, because today I'm going to get extra vulnerable around something which is exactly that, which is being attacked and being criticized online and everywhere else in my life. So, so we're doing today, let's talk about story. So my number one goal, apart from all the amazing modalities and healing things that I do and everything, is when I'm doing the consult, which is about 45 minutes on the first go to an hour when people come in. If you come in for the massage treatment, it's a 3-hour session. It's not 3 hours of me massaging, but there's a lot of training and teaching. There's a lot of consulting. We have to get to the bottom of stuff. And so you'll get the men that come in. I mean, I treat women as well, right? But men are really bad at this. They'll either not say anything or they say everything since the beginning of time. And I know when I'm getting a talker because they'll message me beforehand and they want to tell me everything. And I take that as a privilege, but I've also got to have boundaries around that, right? So my job, apart from everything else, and to raise their frequency. Oh, hi, Cranbourne. And thank you, watching from Melbourne, beautiful. My job is to get people out of their story. And I'm going to, and I teach this at my kinesiology course, which is actually this weekend. And I've written a whole protocol on this. So Brene Brown is the founder of this kind of thing, but people have been talking about getting out of people's, you know, when you do coaching and stuff like that, it's all about getting people out of the story, listening for the story, listening for the belief systems, and then doing something about it, right? And kinesiology is amazing at doing this, because talk therapy is only going to do so much. You're going to talk about what you remember, your perception of it, the layering on your beliefs and all that stuff on top of that, and 10 people could be in a room and you all have different experiences, right? But it's whatever you felt based on your previous experiences and the stories you tell yourself and the beliefs that you have is how you actually react, and then what you do with that afterwards in terms of processing and integration. So, so the story you're telling yourself is based, you know, on an experience. And my experience in my life has been that people attack me. People abuse me. People stalk me, people hunt me down, people threaten me, all of those things. That has been my experience for a very long time. And as a woman as well, I've been, you know, abused and sexually, I don't know if you want to say assaulted, but there's been plenty of harassment and plenty of very scary situations that could have gone very, very bad. You know, that's become my story. Even though I don't talk about it online, I don't talk about it, you know, to people, there are stories there, right? And my abusive marriage, you know, I told that story for a long time. The single mum story, you know, the victim story, all of those stories, right? And then, we want to then identify what the beliefs are with that story, okay? So I've written a whole protocol and I'm going to take you through it now. I'm actually going to do it on myself. I'm not going to explain the protocol, kind of explain it so you know what I'm doing. This used to be in level 1 and it was too hard. So we've moved it to level 2 kinesiology, and I'll go through it today. So the belief that I've come up with, because I've worked on this already, one I prepared earlier, was people betray me, attack me, and leave me. That leave me one, I know it's me walking away, but when I stand up for myself, relationships end. All relationships. When I state a boundary, I get attacked and there's gaslighting. And that's happened across the board. Friends, exes, collaborators, all the people, okay? So people betray me, attack me, and leave me. It's not safe to be me. Oof, right. So you're going to see my body start to move based on what I've just said, and I'll probably cry, which is going to be fun. All right. So this is the belief that I've come up with. And when I teach this, this is the consult training that I teach. This is how you know, I teach them how to come up with this. Because if you don't come up with the beliefs, what are you even working on? If you're working on someone's symptoms or what they're presenting or the story that they're telling you, you're not doing anything for them. that's not healing. That's just re-traumatizing, that's reprogramming, repeating programs, okay? So people betray me, attack me, and leave me. It's not safe to be me. Now I'm muscle testing now, and you can see my body start to move and shake. So this is a big reality for me. It's not easy being vulnerable, as you know. That's why we're doing the challenge. The field, with my body, the field I've been in of porn addiction, men's health, erectile dysfunction, and sexual abuse has been confronting. And I've had 4 or 5 nervous breakdowns. When I overgive, I tend to have a nervous breakdown in the past because one little comment or criticism or attack, and the whole house of cards falls down for me. So it's not easy for me to be vulnerable. I'm a Cancerian, I'm very sensitive, and I have incredible superpowers, gifts, abilities, knowledge, all of that stuff. And coming out with that is something I like to do to inspire others. All right, other practitioners, when I teach, I'm an amazing teacher. This is how we do it, right? So I can't tell other people to be seen, to step into the spotlight, to show me who they really are, to, you know, start getting clients, start marketing, doing the business stuff. Can't expect any of them to do that if I'm not doing it myself. Right. So people, in my experience, have liked to attack me. They've betrayed me and attacked me for my work. I've had many attacks from wives of the men that come and see me, or ex-partners. And I've had one of those today. So that's what I'm going to talk to. I'm not going to say her name, and I'm not going to say the client's name, but it's safe to say that if there's further contact from them, and if she's watching right now, I'm going to the police. And I've screenshot everything. I've got emails, woke up to emails and text messages and a bad review on my quantum medicine page because this person doesn't like what I was treating and how I was treating their ex-partner, whatever they are. So the work that I do is pretty heavy, right? And so we can do some past life things, and it can come up that you've got a contract or a curse, and we can identify with muscle testing who that curse has come from. Now, unfortunately, that client has gone home and told his ex, or not home, he's told his ex about the things that came up in the session, and she's coming at me hard. He came to me because of her. So the issue is her. Now, he is my client. She is not. And yeah, she's coming full throttle at me, and it's bringing up a whole lot of stuff for me, which I talked about on the video last time, which is that legal attacks and people thinking that they have any right to come at me. And then my nervous system goes into full-blown PTSD. And today I've decided I'm going to actually talk about it on camera, and I'm going to face it. So if she's watching, hi. I have blocked her, but we'll see. Okay, so I've had weirdos come at me. I've had lots and lots of weirdos sending dick pics and videos, wanking videos. Any power trippers tend to come at me, and we know, right? So when you have a high light and a high vibration and a high mission and a high purpose, and you come out and you actually, you know, go for that, and you're a woman in this industry, this is what has happened, right? These people come at you because you are of the light, because of the way that you're teaching. It rubs them up the wrong way. It's the things that I'm saying. You know, if we rewind back to 14 years ago when I first started doing this porn addiction stuff, that's when I had the first nervous breakdown. Not a mental breakdown, a nervous system breakdown, where the stress on me, because I got attacked by all of the male coaches, all the men in the coaching industry and stuff, when they were up, you know, treating men, I got attacked, saying that I was shaming men just because I was talking about porn addiction, right? And fast forward 14 years and we are in a very different place, as we know. So ex-partners, ex-wives, wives, weirdos, my ex-husband, all of his partners have come at me. Now, I've reconnected with him in terms of seeing him, and he's back in our lives, but for 14 years I didn't see him. Yet I still had his wife, now ex-wife, and recent partners stalking me and coming at me, creating fake profiles, threatening me. I've had threats. I've had DHS. People called DHS on me. I've had my daughter pulled out of school because people were making up shit and telling DHS. So, you know, it's been a big thing in my life, of all of, you know, the like space invaders, just trying to defend myself and trying to deal with that and what that does to my body. You know, I've had friends, associates, collaborators. I've even had students turn on me, as I mentioned in the last video, and guinea pigs. So this is why I've scrapped the guinea pigs for the kinesiology course, because last time someone who loved to pump, you know, sun up my bum on social media turned up as a guinea pig and didn't like that I was correcting her because she was in her story. And she wouldn't get out of her story. And we were doing the story, I tell myself. I was trying to help the student. She was overtaking the thing. And I kept saying, okay, asking her questions. What about this? What about that? What about that? And then I said, that's the thing. That's the thing you want to work on. And then they ignored me. And then when I saw the feedback, I saw that they ignored me. And then that woman came at me and gave me a big, long lecture about the way I teach, that I humiliated that student, all of this stuff. So, you know, it's just never ending. And for all the people, the spiritual gaslighters who are going to say that I attract it and I create it, you can just, you know, scroll on by. So we all know that it's because they don't like themselves. But what I want to work on today is it's affecting me, and it keeps coming into my life. And we know that, you know, when we're at that vibration, bad shit starts to come in. So when I started the video last week, it started me ticking. I then cleared all this stuff in my chest that was still there from that student attacking me and stuff. And then I went down the beach because it brought up all the friends stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't just her. This is my friends, right? So I went down the beach. I did some clearing out, coughing and dry reaching and, you know, blah, 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 to the ocean. But I've dreamt about it. And I haven't been able to sleep properly because it's coming up. And then when I woke up this morning, there was a big long text message attacking me. There was it referred to an email that she had also sent. So there was a big long email. And, unfortunately, I've had to block both of them, both the ex and the client, because safety is so important to me, and that has settled my nervous system. But I'm going to do a healing on it because I'm not hiding this time. All right, I'm not hiding this time, and I'm going to talk about it. When my ex went missing, I decided to get on camera and I decided to talk about it. Someone messaged me, the only friend that he had, and said, if he kills himself, it's because of you. Take the video down. I had to talk about what mental health, I talk about it in terms of a practitioner, but, you know, I got attacked then as well, right? So I've got all this evidence of people attacking me, abusing me, all the things, right? So we're working on people betray me, attack me, and leave me. Actually, I'm going to take out the leave me and put and abuse me. It's not safe to be me. Whew. Right? And this is something that we're working on with a lot of people right now. It's not safe to be me. And if you know how to muscle test, say it's not safe to be me and see if you get a yes. Okay. So the story I'm telling myself is a protocol that I've written. I'm going to do it on myself now. It can be used for anything, and it pulls together everything that I teach at the kinesiology course. So I'm just going to ask, I'm going to muscle test. So I muscle test with my abs. I've got my massage table here. My abs clench for a yes and nothing for a no. And this is the sway method, right? So the sway method, everyone can do this. You put your arms down beside you, legs apart, and you just close your eyes and you just start to feel your body sway, right? So you know you're letting go. We have an inbuilt pendulum in our abdomen area. And if you say, show me yes, the body will fall forward. Show me no, the body will go back. Which is what used to happen to me. I used to fall back all the time. So I asked them to help me, and it's turned into an ab clench, which is really cool because it becomes contagious in my courses. People start to ab clench, and it's a really, really accurate way of self-testing. And I use it on all my clients. I don't even trust their muscle. Okay. So I'm going to ask, do I need commencement checks today? Yes, no. So I'll muscle test yes or no. Hi, Chris. Okay. So identify the issue. So the priority stress. all right? I've already worked out. So people betray me, attack me, and abuse me. It's not safe to be me, right? And that's me in all my glory, all my beautiful stuff, all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, warts and all, right? Okay, so the next part of this, it says, how does it feel? So I'm getting very vulnerable here. I feel I'm angry. I'm writing it down just so I can, because I'll have to recall it later. So I'm angry, and the word livid comes up. There's this feeling of it's not fair because it doesn't happen to other people. It makes me feel sick. I feel, I'm going to say traumatized. Makes me feel stressed, afraid. Makes me feel I'm hurt. And that hurt comes in at a universal level, like at a higher self level. I'm hurt that people behave this way towards me and also other people. Like, people are, yeah, I'm gonna say too much there. Okay, so I feel hurt, like deeply hurt in my cells. Yeah, afraid, that's covered. Okay, so we've worked out how it makes me feel, and then I'm going to tease out a couple of these emotions now to get, because there's something else brewing now. I can feel it here, and if there's any healers watching, you might be able to pick up on my stuff, right? So I can feel it here. This is exactly where the problem is. It's not my heart. It's digestive. It's hit me in the esophagus because I've had to swallow all of this shit. I haven't been able to talk about it, and there's other stuff that I still am not talking about because it's family. I'm trying to be respectful to other people, but I've had enough, and I'm swallowing it, and it hurts. It hurts me to eat food. I get these weird, I nearly pass out sometimes because there's like a pocket of whatever sitting there. So it's hitting me right here. All right. So I'm going to break down these umbrella emotions. So let me just muscle test which one. Traumatized. Okay. And then I'm going to ask myself, tell me more about that. Pretend I'm working with someone else. Tell me more about that. Okay. Traumatized to me means or feels, I feel sick. I feel traumatized is feeling I've got the feeling and I just can't explain it in an emotion. I'm going to say heavy, revolting. Ugh. Oh, now we know we're getting to it, right? Just let me know if you're here. Where are you watching from? If you want to join the video live challenge, put yes in the comments. I'm just going to clear this stuff from myself. Right, we're just going to stay with that revolting and then all the coughing and stuff, right? Okay, so now we're going to ask what the priority emotion is out of all of these. And it's revolting. So now we're going to ask, what does it feel like to feel revolting? So betrayed comes to me straight away. Betrayed. Lack of trust. These are people that I loved. These are people that I loved, and everyone in my life, basically, except for my current posse, have turned on me, right? It's a big thing for me, right? So lack of trust, I feel betrayed. That's what revolting means to me, or feels like to me. It feels sharp, because I'm tuning into now to where I can actually feel it. It feels sharp and disgusting. and this feeling like I can't escape it. Right, so now we're going to ask muscle test, have we got enough information? Getting a yes. Great. So I'm going to say, the story I'm telling myself is, people betray me, attack me, and abuse me. It's not safe to be me. And I'm getting a yes, which we know is a yes because we're working on that issue. Okay. All right. We've got that. So have we correctly identified the story? Getting a yes. The story I'm telling myself is, you get the client to say that. I've just done that myself. Now we're going to identify, you can see my body starting to wiggle now. We're going to identify the blockage, why this isn't clearing. All right. I'm going to identify an emotion with muscle testing and then a chakra and then do the healing part. 1, 2, and I've got a chart that we're muscle testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh God. Okay. So desolate comes up all the time at our courses, and that's when you know that you're working on the deep stuff. So desolate for me is being left for dead. It's being left in the desert. That's how I remember it. It's being left for dead. So I'm going to ask myself, what does that mean to me? And I'm going to muscle test chakra, and I'm going to tell you a story about that. Solar plexus, so it's right here, my power center, right below your chest area there. Power center, which is willpower, anger, joy, and power or willpower. So I'm just gonna send energy as I talk about this. So the thing that's just popped into my head, that's the first thing that comes into your mind. When have I felt desolate? When have I felt like I've been left for dead? After I gave birth, I think it was a couple of weeks after I gave birth, I passed some blood clots as big as a baby's head in the toilet. And at the time, my auntie and the midwife were actually there, and I said something to them, and they said, "Oh, no, that's okay, that's normal." It wasn't normal, and it was frightening, and I had to pull them out. They were hard. They were so big that I considered that I originally had been pregnant with twins. Anyway, I was convinced that it was normal. I had no idea. First baby, you have no idea, and you just listen to everyone else, right? A couple of days later, I started hemorrhaging, and I was in the toilet, and I had filled the toilet with toilet paper and hemorrhaging. And I yelled out to my husband, who was drunk, who was always drunk. And I had the toilet door open, and I yelled out, and I was screaming out, "We need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital. We need to call an ambulance." He stood at that toilet door, and he said, "What the fuck's going on? And what are you on about?" He said, "What are you on about? What are you making up now? What's the problem?" He was drunk. I said, "I'm bleeding, and I've filled the toilet, and we need to go." So I had a 2-3-week-old newborn, and I had to drive myself to the hospital. I don't know why I didn't call an ambulance. I was embarrassed. He was being abusive at the time as well. And he left me for dead. So that's what desolate means to me. And we walked into the hospital, and I had her in the carrier, and they said, "What's wrong with the baby?" And I said, "It's me. I've been hemorrhaging." And they saw the situation and him being drunk and nasty, and they separated us and then put me in emergency. Unfortunately, there was no beds, and so I stayed in emergency overnight with a whole lot of, things all over me, trying to feed a newborn. I've got things in and out and all the stuff. And he asked the nurse if he could go because he had a ski trip organised and he needed to leave. And I said to him, we're getting a divorce. And we did eventually, but it took me a long time, right? So I'm sending energy to my solar plexus as I talk about feeling desolate, and that has now cleared. Whew. Okay. So we're now going to get an essential oil, which are over here. I'm going to show you how we muscle test. So I'm going to go top row, second row, third row. This side, this one, this one. And I need my book. So laurel leaf has come up. Right, I wouldn't tell the person normally, but it's me, so I have to know what it is. Working on myself. Right, so I'm putting laurel leaf. And we're going to smell. Now, this isn't just aromatherapy. I work with the limbic system, and we use essential oils to reset trauma, reset past life contracts, reset the brain. It's really, really powerful. If someone contacts me and they have suicidal thoughts, the very first thing that I get them to do is grab an essential oil and smell it, right? It changes the brain state instantly. So I'm smelling this in, smell. I'm going to ask myself, what does that smell like? Kind of smells like trees, like gum trees. What does that remind me of? Right, bad memories come to mind of where we lived in that house. There were massive gum trees at the back, but we're going to keep going back until there's a happy memory. And what I'm getting is camping in Shoreham. There were pine trees there, I don't know, but that's what I'm getting. Camping with my family in Shoreham when I was a kid. All right, when have I experienced that smell? Just covered it. And how old were you when that was happening? I reckon I may not be right, but I reckon I was about 7. I'm getting a yes on 7. Okay, so now we're going to look at the essential oils chart and see what laurel leaf means and why it's coming up. This is the most amazing resource book, which I have not launched yet and will do this year, for kinesiologists and anyone that can muscle test affirmations and things. It's got every essential oil in here, and it is amazing, if I don't mind saying so myself. So laurel leaf, it's bay leaf for Australians, and also the cure for COVID and shedding and vax and things like that, just on a side note. Okay, let's look at laurel leaf. It's about fear, insecurity, and emotional stagnation. So it's the oil of courage and strength. And there we go, there's the muscle test. You can't make this shit up. For feelings of courage and strength, helping you face challenges with confidence, supports resilience and endurance, giving me the strength to keep moving forward. Helps alleviate fatigue and lethargy, which I'm feeling on a massive scale from all the trauma. Boosting your energy and motivation. For empowerment and confidence, reminding you of your inner power. I've forgotten, when I'm in those moments of people attacking me, I've forgotten who I am, because I never knew who I was. And now I do. It's taken me 50 years. And now it's like space invaders trying to stand up for myself, right? So I'm going to muscle test an affirmation for laurel leaf. 1, 2, 3. So I need to say, even though I sometimes feel overwhelmed, I'm committed to finding balance and renewal through my inner strength. Now I'm getting a no. So now we need to clear it with an emotions chart. Oh God, desolate. Right, desolate's come up again. Damn it. Okay, throat this time. So when have I felt like I've been left for dead? When I've been hugely abandoned, and straight away my ex-fiance Joel comes up. So he went into psychosis and schizophrenia. I didn't know at the time what any of that was. I knew it was psychosis, but I didn't know that people could have drug-induced schizophrenia. I thought you were just born with schizophrenia, or it was caused by trauma and the splitting and the schism of the brain. I get that, but he went missing, and it'll be 3 years this year. It feels like it happened yesterday, and I was just left. He was missing 5 times, dealing with the hospital, the cops, his awful family. he took me off next of kin, so I felt the hit in my chest then. So I couldn't even ring up and find out how he was. It was the worst pain I've ever been through. And I couldn't find my voice because he's never been found. Still homeless, still on the run, whatever it is. So I never got closure. I never got to speak my truth. I never got to say anything to him. I've had to say it out aloud in the shower, at the wall, you know, purging and clearing all this stuff. All right, now my body's telling me that's it. That's the energy done. Right, I'm going to say the affirmation again. Even though sometimes feel overwhelmed, I'm committed to finding balance and renewal through my inner strength, getting a yes. Woohoo, yes. Okay, no more desolate, thanks. Okay, so we've done that. The next part is, I'm going to say it again, and we're going to test it this time and see if the story I'm telling myself is I get a yes, right? So the story I'm telling myself is that people betray me, attack me, and abuse me. It's not safe to be me. I'm not moving. So it's no longer true. My body doesn't believe it. Subconscious mind, it's shifted. It's pretty cool. So then we're going to rewrite the goal. Rewrite the story into a positive goal state. And I'm going to say, people adore and honor me. And respect me. I know honoring's the same and it's different. And respect me. People adore and honor me and respect me. Okay, so I'm going to say it now. The story I'm telling myself is people adore me, honor me, and respect me. I'm getting a no. So do you see how we're doing two sides of the coin here? So we're clearing the negative, but now we've got to check the positive. We're also getting a no. So there's something still not right there. Okay? So now I'm going to get an emotion. Pray for me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Right. Disappointed. And it's throat again. So sending myself energy in the throat. What does disappointed mean to me? I'm disappointed that I cannot find a partner or a collaborator. I've found some friends now that don't disappoint me, that constantly disappoint me, and then throw back in my face that I'm the one with the high expectations. No one can reach my expectations, and then the gaslighting starts. I have very high standards for myself. I am mastery and safety, drive, passion, motivation. They are my highest values. And so I want people in my life that have those high values. They don't have to, but to collaborate with me in a business arrangement, you have to be at the same level, and it hasn't worked. So it's been very disappointing. Friends that I've lost along the way or walked away from recently, the big purge in the snake year, all of that stuff, it's just very disappointing. And of course, you know, not just them blaming me, I start to self-doubt. Am I being too hard on people? Am I having too high standards? The answer is no. Fuck no. Okay, anything else? Yes, no? Right. Going to check it again. The story I'm telling myself is that people adore and honor me and respect me. Right, there it goes. I've got a yes. Woohoo! Okay. Which remedy is required to integrate this balance? Is it sound, oracle card, tuning fork, essence? It's an affirmation. So I'm going to go to the affirmations and work out what I need to hear. Now the affirmations come up because they're not true. It comes up because there's a blockage, not because I just want to say, you know, I feel good, blah, blah, blah. 2, 3, it's the next page. Muscle testing, boundaries and power. Okay, 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever I choose to do for me is right. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Right, so my body's starting to react. Normally I'll be laying down. Oh, we need a bumper sticker. I think I might get some wristbands for my students on the weekend. Whatever I choose to do for me is right. And now I'm getting a yes. Okay. Do I need another remedy? Yes, no. Do I need an affirmation? Yes, no. Do I need to balance hydration? Yes. My body absorbs, utilizes, and holds water, minerals, and electrolytes with perfect harmony. I'm fully hydrated. Getting a yes. And there's some stuff coming up there. Any energy that belongs to me, return to me. Any energy that belongs to me, return to me. Normally we would say you. Any energy that belongs to you, return to you. And anything that was released today, be bound to the white light, sent away immediately, never to return. Okay. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments there. So I have my kinesiology course coming up. It is Tuesday. This will be the last day that you can join because I've already printed manuals and we're already setting up in my head. There's preparations as to how many people need to be together and work in couples and pairs and all the stuff. So you have today to get $100 off. That is it, right? And then as of tomorrow, we are full steam ahead with the 2-day kinesiology course. Level 1 is on the weekend. And for everyone that has been hanging for me to create level 2 and 3, that is coming after I go to Bali in June. So that is exciting. I just have to write the courses, in my spare time. Just a reminder that if you'd like to join the video video challenge for April, you can jump in today. Just put a yes in the comments. If you've got any questions about what I did today, if you'd like to book a session with me or you want to know, what the treatments are and what's available, I can do this process on you. It's very, very powerful. All right. So I'm going to say it again. People adore and honor me and respect me. Getting a yes. Woohoo! Well, thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you again very soon. I'm going to start talking about the breath work next week and also the DNA and ancestral clearing because everyone wants to know what happens at that event, and also some of the business stuff that I'm running. So stay tuned. Bye.